It is Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank here on WCCS AM 1160, FM 101.1 at 744. And coming up in our next 2 hours from 8 to 10, we'll be broadcasting from the 700 shop in downtown Indiana. Right now, if you're watching on Facebook, we're Facebook Live-ing this event as we have some visitors this morning in the studio from the Indiana Train Collectors. And boy, they have been so busy over the course of the last month. Tom, you were telling me it's been about a month since you were here.
We started in October, Todd. Yes, we did.
In October, you started this. So, well, putting it together, you mean?
Putting it all together, getting the mall ready, the mall exhibit ready. It was a lot of fun, but it took 15 of us 6 weeks to set things up.
Tom, joined in the studio by Barry Widdowson. Good morning to you, Barry.
Good morning, Todd. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. It's good to have you here. It's a lot of fun playing with trains, even at your age, isn't it?
I've been doing it since I was 4 years old, so it is.
It never gets old.
No.
It just absolutely doesn't. And as you were saying, Barry, it's just wonderful to watch the eyes of children as they sort of embrace something that you fellows have been doing for all your lives.
That's exactly right, Todd. What we had tried to recreate was the tradition of model trains was fun for a lot of us as we grew up when we were young. And we'd like to set that scene back in Indiana for the families to come out and have a family-filled event, something they could do with their children. Mm-hmm. And it was an overwhelming success, the amount of families that came, the children that were happy, seeing Thomas the Train Engine and Frosty the Snowman Train and the Pink Girls Train. It's just really fun to see their eyes glow up and to re-engage in the hobby. So it's something we were happy to do.
So you've been set up in the former FYE location.
We were.
At the Indiana Mall.
That's correct.
Great location because you've got automatic foot traffic and then they see that.
Well, and it was a big enough room that nobody was ever crowded. You could get into the layouts and really see what they were and enjoy it. It was fun.
Yeah, and while you were there, you said, well, let's collect some money for the Teddy Bear Fund Drive.
We did. We had a donations jar there, and we said this would be a great event to support because of the theme of wanting the children to engage in our hobby and to have the funds go to helping and supporting children.
Yeah.
So we're happy to be here today to present a check to you folks. Barry, would you like to?
Well, we have a cashier's check today for $1,761.50.
Wow. How about that?
Turned out great. These people in Indiana County know when to give.
Could you have expected that?
No.
I know when you do something like that, you say, okay, well, maybe we'll raise this amount, or maybe we'll raise that amount, or I have no idea how much money we could raise. $1,700.
Yeah.
We were in the no idea range, but I'll tell you what, it was fantastic to see the families come and to have the fun. And the overwhelming support we had from Sherry Renoski and the Indiana Mall vendors was just outstanding. Everybody was very supportive to have us there. It was a great environment.
Yeah. So,
it really was.
So now you're going to be there all year long.
I don't think our wives could stand the hobby lasting all year long in that intensely.
You might be surprised. They might just kick you right on out. Say, go play with your trains, please.
Set up a bed somewhere.
There you go. There you go. So how many layouts were there?
12.
12 different
layouts. Everything from G scale, which is the largest, all the way down to a Z scale, which is really small.
Those are tiny.
But lots of Lionel, American Flyer, HO, just everything.
Now, you guys are with the Train Collectors, so you've been doing this a long time. So have everybody else in the club, I'm sure.
Yes.
As you watched these being set up and as guys brought in their train sets and they set them up and got them ready to display, I know it's thrilling to watch, but were there surprises? You said, wow, how did he get that idea?
Yes, there were, especially with, I'll point out one that people remember is the Frosty the Snowman train going through a tunnel, and then on top we had what they call a helix train, which would climb the mountain and come back down, something like the Polar Express does in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the way that came together was unique this year, and it worked very well. And then Leonard Ivancic, who does the trains up at the Indiana County Fair, brought a set up and had Thomas the Train for the children, and they really loved Thomas the Train. Oh, yeah. So we had a great exhibit with that as well.
Tremendous. What about you, Barry?
Well, they consistently amaze me how many different ideas can be done. One fella had trains that were pre-war, and he had a setup so that they would run together, but there were two places that they could crash. And he said as a child, that was what he and his brother did. They crashed the trains all the time.
So it's all a matter of timing, isn't it?
It is.
Well, that's tremendous. And that points out the fact that trains aren't meant just to be looked at. They're meant to play with. They're wonderful toys, and they're very technical sometimes. And you have to get them just right. You can't have that track moving back and forth. But to get into it and to really enjoy it is just a pleasure all the way around. And it becomes a lifetime thing.
It does, and the hobby has other areas you can expand, like doing scenery. In itself is an art, and we had such a good group put together the large layout in the front window that depicted a scene of Indiana County with coal fields and the local industries and the Christmas tree capital of the world theme, and Jim's train shop from Homer City. That now he's gone fishing, but when he was there, everybody remembered where the trains were from here in Indiana County. So it was a wonderful experience. It really was.
Yeah. Now the trains are all put away for now, aren't they?
Well, we're starting to take them down.
Yeah. So folks aren't going to be able to see it again, and that just maybe should whet their appetite for next year.
It should. And we'd also like to take a minute to say thank you to the Plum Creek Quilters Guild, who helped us decorate the walls with beautiful quilts. And so many people really appreciated seeing those holiday quilts this year, so I wanted to mention that. Yes.
I bet, absolutely. Well, it's just a tremendous thing that you've done for the Teddy Bear Fund Drive, and to catch the spirit of Indiana Countians and probably the stories that start getting swapped about kids and their own train sets, even, some 75, 80-year-old kid.
Exactly right.
Said, I remember the set I had. It was just like that one right there. You probably hear that a lot, don't you?
A lot of it, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then come the actual stories of when trains were just a commonplace thing, and people would take the train.
That's right.
When they were children. My mother tells the story of when she was 10 years old, her mother putting her on the train to Cleveland by herself, and going out to visit with an aunt in Cleveland. And the people on the train, and you know this, Barry, because you still ride the trains.
Oh, yes.
People take care of kids when they get put on trains, or they did back then, and they made sure they got to where they were going, and it was a whole way of life that we don't have any idea of now. It's just amazing. Just an amazing thing. Well, you've done some tremendous work on behalf of the children at the pediatrics unit at the Indiana Regional Medical Center, and, of course, those who take advantage of the Free Care Fund at Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh. And I'm sure that every year you say, that's it, it's too much work, I'm not going to do it again. And then the show ends and you say, I've got to start planning for next year.
That's about right.
We're planning already. Yes.
And you probably know what's going to be underneath your Christmas tree this year, something having to do with the train.
It's already there.
It's already Yeah, you probably put them up in your homes, your train sets.
Yes.
Right?
We do.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're in the train, I think that's probably written into the bylaws. Train collectors. Well, again, the check, Barry, what was the amount again?
$1,761.50.
And we are so grateful to everybody with the train collectors, everybody who gave this year at that wonderful exhibit at the Indiana Mall. Thanks for coming in this morning, too.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate it so very, very much. It is Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank. It's WCCS at AM 1160 and FM 101.1. 7:52 now. It's 8 minutes away from 8 o'clock. And pretty soon we're going to be heading up the street to the 700 shop.